Hey guys, some more questions on straight lines. So the one question that I'll be doing today, it has three parts to it. So we analyze different situations here. Find the value of P for which the line, I've given a line in terms of P. So P minus 3 times X plus minus 4 minus P square times Y plus P square minus 7P plus 6 equals to 0. This line is parallel to the x-axis. Then we will also analyze for what value of P it will be parallel to the y-axis. And then we will analyze for what value of P should it be moving through 0, 0. That is the origin. Okay. So if it's parallel to the x-axis, what does it mean? What does it tell you about the slope of this line? Well, x-axis is a slope 0. It's a horizontal line, so it doesn't have any slope, right? So the slope is 0. And if a line is parallel to the x-axis, the slope of that line also needs to be 0. So the slope of this line needs to be 0. And now, do we know what is slope of a line? Slope of a straight line. I have been working on that with you guys, so I'm sure you guys know what is the slope of a straight line. So the slope, if the line is this, P minus 3x minus 4 minus P square y plus P square minus 7P plus 6 equals to 0. So the slope will be P minus of P minus 3 upon, basically minus of this upon 4 minus P square. Or what I've done here is I've written it in the form of mx plus c. That is also something which is very much doable. So either you will just write down this, that the slope m is basically minus of the coefficient of x upon the coefficient of y, or in other words, essentially what you have, it's y equals to mx plus c. So I just created y in terms of mx plus c. And this is my m. M is what? M is the slope. So the slope is P minus 3 upon 4 minus P square. And the slope should be 0. If it is parallel to the x-axis, this slope should be 0. And that's only possible when P is 3. So the answer to this question is that this is possible when P is 3. So that's what we get here. Then the second part to it. The second part, for what value of P will it be parallel to the y-axis? If it's parallel to the y-axis, what does it mean? If it's parallel to the y-axis, it means that the slope, what does it tell you about the slope? Something which is parallel to the y-axis is a straight line like this, right? It's a straight line like this, it is perpendicular. So if it is, so the slope, if it is parallel to the y-axis, the slope is undefined. In terms of theta, it is 90 degree and it is undefined. The slope is undefined of a vertical line. The slope is undefined, right? So since the slope is undefined, so what can we say about in this question? The slope, we already know what the slope is. Slope is equal to, you can also, think in terms of the slope of a line is tan theta, right? So tan theta, and theta becomes, when it's a vertical line, theta is 90. So tan 90. There are different ways of, thinking about it. So tan 90 is infinity. So when do we get infinity? So the whole idea here would be how to get m as infinity. So the slope, which is basically your m, we already know that it is k minus 3 upon 4 minus k square. And I want this to be almost infinity. So when will that happen? That will happen when my denominator is 0. So this will happen when my denominator is 0, and that means the slope will be undefined. Slope is undefined when k square equals to 4, or that means k is equal to plus or minus 2. So when k will, this is not k, I've taken p, right? I'm writing k, it's p minus 3, p square. So p is plus or minus 2. So p is plus or minus 2, and then you will get an undefined or vertical, basically, line, which is parallel to the x-axis. Okay. Now the third part to it. The third part to it is that the value of p such that it passes through the origin. So it will pass through the origin. Well, it will pass through the origin. So our line is p minus 3 times x minus 4 minus p square times y plus p square minus 7 times p plus 6 equals to 0, right? So this is the line that we have, and we want that it is passing through 0, 0. So that means it is satisfying, the equation gets satisfied at 0, 0. So put x equal to y equal to 0. Put both the values as 0, 0. So what will you get? This entire thing will become 0. And what you will be left with is p square minus 7p plus 6 equals to 0. So which means that I can factorize. So this will give me minus 6p minus 1p plus 6 equals to 0. That means I have factors p into p minus 6 minus 1 into minus 6 equals to 0. P minus 1 into p minus 6 equals to 0. That means in case p will be 1 or 6, that would imply that the line passes through 0, 0. That is the origin.